Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to take a look at how the giant 8 power Radditz performs in the Extreme Super Battle Road stage. This is against the Extreme Strength, or if you want to be specific, the Super Physical, technically, Extreme Super Battle Road stage. And we've basically rocked Radditz under a double Broly lead. Now of course LR Broly is going to be the star of the video. He is an exceptional unit that does tremendous damage, especially in an AoE scenario. But we're going to take a look at how Radditz does as a unit that accompanies him under a lower lead. So obviously this is a full extreme strength team. You're running them under double 120% leads. We've activated an item, and after orbs Radditz has 98k. Now that's not too bad. He's going to take some damage of course, but once he super attacks he should be able to reduce that damage quite significantly. An important aspect of ESBR is being able to take single digits or double digits while you have an item active. So if you can do that, you're pretty much able to be on a team. You may not be a perfect fit, but you will be on a team. A fortunate thing for Radditz is he does share at least 2 links with Broly, which is always very good, sharing a key link with him in the form of Saiyan Lineage, and he did some decent damage there. Remember, he also gains a damage buff while under the 80% threshold, and that definitely does help Radditz to shell out some pretty decent attack stats. Looking at this team that I took here, I would definitely say Radditz was, barring the Brolys, the second best performer. He was very solid defensively. He was a nice frontlining option for the Broly actually, considering that for the most part compared to the Brolys he actually had higher defense, which is really good. So he acted as that front tank slot, and then yeah, he really just did some good attack stats, didn't really let me down, didn't really give me too many issues, and yeah, just did a good job. So very impressed with Radditz. Obviously we're rocking a very interesting team here. We have like the Strength Rildo. He's going to kind of just run around providing a buff to the Shenron. The Shenron obviously debuffing all of our enemies, which is always an added bonus. But yeah, realistically Radditz has done a great job first up. We will be activating 2 items here just to make sure that we stay alive. But we can see here Radditz has 62k defense. We're going to grab 9 orbs, which is a good amount, a very good amount, but there, 108,000 defense. That's a very solid number. Now, it's not the highest number in the world. It's not going to let you raw tank double digits from an ESBR, but with an item, he won't let you down. You're not going to die. He can take super attacks. We saw that in the first fight. He took 192k from a super attack. So, you know, he's not gonna let you down, and that's very important. I know that sounds like I'm kind of underselling the unit, but I think it's important that people understand that you need these units. Whether Radditz is a first tank slot for a Broly or he's a floating unit, you're never gonna have, unless you're a whale or something, you're never gonna have every unit in the game, and you're never gonna be able to run the perfect team in every scenario. But being able to see how Radditz does, you'll be able to maybe float him as a support, or not as a support, sorry, but you'll be able to float him as a reliable option who won't get you killed. He'll dish out some decent damage. He has solid enough defense. You know, these are all benefits of Radditz, and when you get into a tight situation, he will be able to do more damage, which does help out the team. So realistically, I genuinely think Radditz is pretty good. I was very impressed with his performance on the team. I was very happy with how he did. I think he did exceptionally. I think he's great, a solid option defensively. I do think offensively he's a little bit lackluster, just because he's, you know, he hits decent attack stats, but he really only gets that big attack boost once he's under the 80% threshold. And when you're running a double Broly team, you don't really get to see Radditz a second turn in those kind of fights. That being said, you know, for someone else that may not be true. For someone else who's running something else as their team, that may not be the case. So I don't really want to say where you can use Radditz and what doesn't get factored in. It's just in this specific example, it's not shown. But that attack buff is still nice. When you're in a tight situation, it's going to help you out. Here he's getting a little bit of a buff, obviously defensively, from the Goku Black. But he's, again, solid defense, 110k, probably the best first slot tank out of all of these units. He greatly raises his attack and defense after he fires his super attack, so he's definitely going to be getting that up there again. So realistically, you know, in this whole team, he was the best first slot tank, barring like Omega Shenron whilst Rildo was on his rotation. So that being said, I don't think there's really anything more you can say about Radditz. Damage, maybe not so high, but it's difficult to gauge under 120% double leads. Remember, we're also not catering towards his most powerful links. Links like Transform, links like Saiyan Raw are not going to be activated in this scenario. So without those activated, Radditz isn't really getting the big offensive support that one might be able to give him. And it's better to maybe build your team around those links if you want to see them. But that being said, Radditz isn't the type of unit that we want to build around. Radditz isn't the guy that we use because, you know, I really love Radditz, I think he's incredible. You might really love Radditz and you might think he's incredible, and you're welcome to think so, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for most people, that's not the scenario. So having him as a functional unit, having him as a unit that floats, having him as a front slot tank, or at least a solid optional front slot tank, really makes a big difference to Radditz. Makes him a lot better, it makes him usable. And I mean, look here in this scenario, okay, yeah, we've got double Brody 100%, but Radditz has tanked well. He took 2 super attacks in the first fight, didn't let us down. He's tanked perfectly fine with items, and barring Broly himself, has been the best offensive force on the team. And he's not even getting support like this Omega Shenron is in this turn, for example. So realistically speaking, Radditz is great, and there's still some more maneuvers that can come. Goku Black, he can get an easy A as well. You know, so that could really help out the team. I don't have Janemba in them, so you might be seeing a different version of Radditz just by virtue of having a higher leader skill. So realistically, honestly, Radditz does great, and I'm very, very happy with his performance. I think he's great. I think he's a good addition. He does improve the extreme strength team, and you can see that because I run a faster time. Now that does come down to luck sometimes, but generally speaking, he is solid. So here we can see 93k. I haven't popped an item or anything, and we'll see him take some damage here after supering 93k, and he only takes 33k. So honestly, a really, really solid enough effort from Radditz on that front. So if you're in a tight situation where you don't want to use items like me, there you go, you don't have to. If you're only seeing Radditz take 1 hit or anything like that, you know you can rely on him not getting you killed. He's not going to take 80k, 90k, 30k, manageable if it's 1 or 2 hits. Obviously, if he got supered, would have been a bit of a different story, but we can't always control those kind of things. You know, we just sometimes have to display the best side of the card we can. So realistically, awesome showing from Radditz. Very, very, very impressed with him. And yeah, I definitely think he's been a good addition to the extreme strength pool for this ESBR specifically. So I think if anything, that's always a good addition. He does great, he tanks decently well, and his links are, although a little bit tricky with Transform and Saiyan Raw, the links like Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, those are easy enough to get that it honestly feels like it's not too difficult to get Radditz moving. And it's not too difficult to get him a solid display here. So yeah, realistically super happy with him. Good addition to the pool, and obviously, you know, to clear the stage, having, you know, Broly or a friend Broly always helps, as you can see by the sheer force of damage that Broly does. But that being said, you know, having someone that can sit in first slot for Broly and has 20k higher defense or 30k higher defense like Radditz does, that just means a lot and does help the team, because that is where the team does have its weak point. If you're running Broly's, your weak point is that you want even though Broly's defense got a huge buff, it's still largely after super, and you really want Broly to be able to deal out those supers and not have to deal with taking hits beforehand if you can avoid it. So yeah, awesome display, nice pairing partner for Broly, good addition to the team pool, definitely viable, decent offensively, solid defensively, very solid defensively. Radditz, good easy A. So yeah, let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think of Radditz. Have you used him? Do you plan on using him? And what other stages you've used him in? But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, bye!